Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it's NMeade here, and welcome back with more world record review, this time for April 2021. During April 2021, we broke double digits with 10 new world records set on 7 unique tracks with huge milestones achieved. Let's get started. We start April's activity with a monumental milestone achieved on Rainbow Road. On April 3rd, Logan became the second player to successfully complete Rainbow Road 3-lap with the glitch. He would beat Arthur's first glitch world record achieved here back in January of this year by over 2.5 seconds with a time of 2:12.143. Logan is one of the most accomplished time trialers in the game, especially when it comes to shortcut and glitch categories. I was not anticipating someone else pulling off this glitch so soon after Arthur did at the beginning of this year, but Logan was equipped for the task. For Logan, this glitch is a simple glitch on paper, but it is so darn tough to link 2 bounces together. Logan eventually got 2 massive bounces in a row, the initial bounce going around half a star further than you need, getting into checkpoint 0 by miles, and the second bounce cleared the road by miles as well. The Rainbow Road glitch is so incredibly precise to make it work. A more detailed breakdown can be found in the January 2021 review, which will be in the description. After landing a glitch that counted a lap in this run, Logan went into survival mode, with all that he was thinking about was not falling off. It must be so nerve-wracking being in this position, being the second player to pull off the most iconic glitch for Mario Kart Wii, and having to drive 2 long laps shroomless with as slow of a vehicle as the Quacker is. Thankfully, with holding himself together, apart from some mishaps on lap 2, Logan secured a substantial improvement over Arthur's time. Logan mentions that Flair jokingly told him a few days prior to setting this run that if he missed a startup boost, it will manipulate his QM just right to make the glitch. So he decided to go for it, and he was right. Come to think of it, there are probably only a handful of world records that outright have missed the entire startup boost. Looks like it helped pull this feat off in the end. Logan does comment that he just needs to do the Koopa Cape glitch now to have completed all the RTA viable glitches. Absolutely no doubts that Logan will eventually hit that when he decides to sit down and grind that out. Absolute biggest of props and congratulations for becoming the second player to successfully pull off a 3-lap world record with the glitch Logan. Next up, we have some notable activity on both categories for Maple Treeway. We start off with the no glitch activity in April, where Demon finally pulls through with a milestone improvement, beating his previous world record by 329 milliseconds with a time of 2:14.507 on April 4th. This record is significant for having the first 3-for-3 turn skip run being achieved. Since Demon's last world record here over a year ago, with the first 2:14 performed, Demon has been playing this on stream on and off for the majority of the past year and has had many fails during that time watching his attempts on his stream. He has been extremely overdue for an improvement, and this comes well deserved after that amount of time grinding in the past year. Commenting that he hoped his previous run would not last a full year, but it did. Demon considers this more like a 2.5 out of 3 turn skip run, as the lap 1 turn skip was a quote-unquote high or quote-unquote wide turn skip. But on the books, it is a 3-for-3. Most notable errors for Demon in his run would come down to how the first lap turn skip was executed as discussed, along with a giant bad landing bounce at the end of lap 1, which cost a considerable amount of time, especially in the ghost comparison versus his previous record. Getting that bad of a landing makes it so you cannot capitalize on all the trick boosts that you performed when landing. Moving into lap 2, Demon had a wall clip which did not cost that much time according to Demon. It just caused big air. Finally, for lap 3, Demon's signature move of missing the mini turbo and a few minor errors during the lap most definitely cost that run being a 2:13. The lap 3 comparison versus his previous record is crazy to watch and really exemplifies how much the turn skip saves. You can see how far Demon is trailing behind, and with a properly performed turn skip, he is off-screening his previous record. Demon says the run had incredible driving that was held back by those rather significant errors, and with that in mind has adjusted his sights while not becoming complacent by aiming for a solid 212. After hitting a 213 here, Demon has plans to experiment with the shroomless turn skip in his runs, and ultimately draws a line in the sand with 211 as a goal. He did say a 209 back in March, but says that was purely hype. I don't know though, if anyone were to go to that length to shoot for that target, Demon would be the one to take the lead for that grind. Biggest of congrats to you, Demon, for finally pulling off after over a year for an improvement. We all know a massive improvement is in the cards for you in the future. Changing pace to the glitch activity here in April, J. Cool was continuing his grind, reclaiming the world record from Logan by 59 milliseconds on April 27th, with a time of 1:41.389. On the same day, J. Cool had a larger improvement of almost 1 full second, achieving the first 140 on Maple Treeway with a time of 1:44.97. J. Cool knew he was capable of beating Logan's previous record without any significant changes to his current strategies. He progressed from a 1:43.649 on April 25th and hit a 1:41.905 30 minutes after that run, which made him much happier with that massive time cut off of his previous PB. J. Cool was surprised with this 1:41.389 beating Logan's run, with his notable mistake being a very high single trick on the net lap 2 and no low cannons, but had a very fast glitch entry on lap 3 which gained enough to beat Logan's time. Instead of calling it a day, J. Cool decided to keep playing, given his consistency had improved drastically, noting this was his 12th successful 3-for-3 run. It turned out to be the best decision he could have made, as he nailed this run less than an hour after his first run. J. Cool did manage to have one low cannon in this run, meaning he hit the fence at a precise time into the cannon to allow him to fall much shorter than normal, and the time save is significant watching the comparison of his previous run. Everything after the low cannon on lap 2 was fairly solid given his nerves. To boot, J. Cool's lap 2 and 3 in this run were both best known splits for this strategy when he set this record in April as well, which is a very impressive feat. J. Cool says he definitely wants to hit at least a 139 in the short term and feels he can accomplish this with only one low cannon, and long term can drop his gold another 1.5 seconds or so for every additional low cannon he can get in a run. When J. Cool gave his feedback back in April, he already finished 17 3-for-3 glitch runs, and continued to see his consistency improve with more grinding. He is more than happy with the progress he made and anticipates much more activity here in the following months by himself, Demon, Logan, and others. With that being said, with J. Cool's predictions, there were exciting developments for this category after April that I look forward to covering in the future review videos. It's been exciting to see J. Cool set his first world record overall here and continue to try and push his limits further. Big congrats to you, J. Cool, and best of luck on your future grinds here. We had more glitch activity during April, this time on Mushroom Gorge. On April 7th, Bryce improved his own world record by 199 milliseconds with a time of 20.320. Bryce has had strong control over Mushroom Gorge glitch for the majority of the last 3 years and always comes back every 5 to 6 months it seems with another improvement. For Bryce, every lap in this run was pretty average, with none of them being really good or really bad. In all Bryce's previous runs, there were at least one lap that was bad and held his runs back. As we're getting close to sub 20 second territory, Bryce says moving forward getting less airtime lap 2 will probably be crucial for eventually setting a 19-second time here. When the day comes that the first 19-second time is achieved here, it's going to be crazy. When this glitch was simply riding the wall to the final turn all 3 laps with Daisy Mach Bike in the low 40-second territory, I don't think anyone was forecasting this track to be anywhere near close to Grumble Volcano, which is at 15 seconds for a 3-lap completion. Always a treat watching a glitch run with modern glitch strategies at this point on Mushroom Gorge. Congrats to you, Bryce, and good luck when you decide to pick this up again and push for that 19-second time. Following suit with glitch activity, we had a massive time cut on N64 DK's Jungle Parkway glitch. Invincible would improve his previous world record by over 1.5 seconds with a time of 41.072 on April 12th. Barely missing the first 40-second time and almost skipping a 41-second time here entirely. Invincible comments jumping from a 42.6 to a low 41-second time is something he joked about in the past, and is incredibly surprised it became a reality with a large effort put forth with nailing this run, being very proud of how this ended up. Lap 1 was absolutely incredible for Invincible, everything being perfect from the glitch alignment to the good task glitch, good standstill mini turbo, and pretty good last turn with an amazing second alignment making the lap, being his best lap 1 split by over 300 milliseconds. I must say as well, watching his run back a couple of times, all of his alignments were very impressive with watching how this track has progressed within the past year. Lap 2 had a slightly higher task glitch for Invincible, but apart from that, he was highly focused on giving himself the best possible chance to complete a lap 3 glitch, being on such a monster pace. He was stunned after making the third glitch and says his vision actually started to go a bit blurry, but seeing a 12.6 lap 2, he knew it was a done deal and that he would set a monster time if he could just close it out. Being extremely nervous at this point, Invincible's recovery wasn't the greatest and the last turn was taken very safe, but it was way more than plenty for such a significant improvement here. Overall, Invincible says he is absolutely satisfied with this run and he'd be happy leaving it here, but will continue to push this until he gets a 40-second run. After that point, biting the bullet and starting to shift metas on this track, mentioning the Zip Zip. For those who are unaware, the meta for glitching this track changed to using the outward drifting bike, the Zip Zip, earlier this year when Justin made a new task for the track. I have linked it in the description so you all can give it a watch because it's nothing short of insane, and if Invincible ends up getting the world record with this strategy, it's going to be crazy. Massive props for such a significant time cut here, Invincible, and good luck on your future grind here, whether it be the 40-second grind or testing the waters with the Zip Zip. Now for some no glitch activity, we head to Mario Circuit. Mario Circuit no glitch saw a monumental improvement by Guy during April. On April 17th, Guy would improve his own world record by almost half a second, with a time of 1:23.57. Guy is no stranger to all things Mario Circuit, as he has been the reigning champ of Mario Circuit no glitch for over 5 years now uncontested. In September 2020, Guy decided to grind for 3-for-3 King Alex low ramps in his runs, and had about a 2-month break in January and February, all in all taking 5 months of grinding for this run, and it turned out way better than he expected. To break down what the King Alex ramp is, simply put, you can land at the very tip of the ramp and get a low trick that can propel you through the sand and grass patch with the duration of the boost from tricking. This saves considerably more per lap over the more conservative flip trick off the entire ramp, getting very high air and having most of your trick boost going back to the main road. This strategy is immensely precise to get on just one lap. Guy managed to get this 3-for-3 while driving extremely well to have almost a half-second improvement here. I cannot understate how immense of an achievement this is. Lap 1 was very solid for Guy, being only 71 milliseconds off of the best known split. Having a full chain wheelie and a very solid King Alex ramp were most notable for lap 1, but not perfect for Guy. He had a great alignment into the shortcut, with both shroom cuts being very good, but the 2 shroomer exit was too tight, so he didn't fully clear the off-road with his mushroom boost, causing his angle to be too far left. The speed dropped to 99 kilometers per hour before exiting the off-road, whereas in his last record it only dropped to 111 kilometers per hour. This alignment mistake, along with the twist drop wheelie and twist half chain wheelie, lost around 100 to 150 milliseconds in his estimation. After the lap 2 straight, everything started to go really well. The King Alex ramp for this lap was nearly perfect with an excellent alignment into the next turn. Guy mentions he can tell what an optimal King Alex ramp is by how low the speed goes right before landing on the road, and that speed was 105 kilometers per hour, compared to 99 kilometers per hour on lap 1. The turn after was a little wide but very solid, and the last turn was very solid as well for Guy. Lap 3 straight was excellent with a half chain wheelie and no bounce, followed by a full chain wheelie. On lap 3, in Guy's estimation, the trick was 1 or 2 frames too early for the King Alex ramp, causing the mini bounce to happen sooner than usual. Guy recognized this, so instead of holding hard right, he briefly held left, so he can make it to the curb as he landed from the mini bounce, allowing him to get air off the curb and clear the off-road. The exiting speed dropped all the way down to 90 kilometers per hour because of this, making this by far the worst King Alex ramp of the run for Guy. It lost between 100 to 150 milliseconds by his estimation. The ramp landing was bouncy because of landing on the edge of the curb. Somehow Guy adapted and barely got the main turbo out, and once again had an excellent alignment into the next turn. The alignment after the turn was too tight and had to nudge right very slightly, dropping to 96 kilometers per hour. The last couple of turns were very solid for Guy, solidifying such an immense improvement and an overall precedent for the track, having the King Alex ramp perform 3 for 3. For context, in case some of you guys don't know, the first time this ramp was pulled off in just one lap of a world record run here was by King Alex back in July of 2011. Almost 10 full years later, we now have a run that has this precise maneuver done 3 for 3. Guy is happier with this run more than any other run he has set in the game. Guy explains the meme name he used was an abbreviation of Matthew 11:28, a Bible verse he wanted to share with people and glorify God with. Guy was so happy with this run he was hardly able to sleep for 3 days after getting it. Guy fully expected to make many incremental improvements before getting a run like this, and yet somehow he can't shake the feeling that he will be back to Mario Circuit someday to get rid of a couple of mistakes and push this lower. When I saw a Guy reach this milestone, it almost felt like his whole journey grinding this track and getting his first world record here until now came full circle. His dedication to Mario Circuit with his uncontested reign for over 5 years has been admirable to watch for so long, and absolutely deserved every bit of achieving this immense milestone. Absolute biggest of congratulations to you, Guy, once more, and when you decide to come back here someday, best of luck for improving this monster of a time. GBA Bowser Castle 3 saw improvements on both categories in April, with both improvements being done by Luke. Luke would reclaim the world record on the shortcut category, beating Breakson's previous world record by 139 milliseconds with a time of 1:57.335 on April 28th. Luke would accomplish this without using the shroomless cut that was implemented for the first time by Breakson in his previous record, setting this massive record with 3 for 3 normal shroom cuts. Luke briefly played this in late December 2020 and knew that beating Breaks' time with 3 for 3 shroom cuts was possible, but at the time felt unrealistic with the consistency needed, but ultimately is glad to prove himself wrong. Lap 1 was reasonably well driven, having 2 bad low jumps which lost quite a bit, in the realm of 60 to 80 milliseconds compared to 2 good ones. But the main flaw being the shortcut as he didn't land on the edge of the wall, having a wider drift for recovery, and the main turbo being released later as a result. Lap 2 had nice driving at the start of the lap, and had 1 average low jump and 1 good low jump. Lap 2 had a great shortcut for Luke, and was an insane lap for him, having triple half chain wheelies during the lap. We can see how much Briggs' maneuver and his former world record cost him on lap 2, and how close Briggs and Luke were during the entirety of lap 3 until the ending straight in the comparison. Lap 3 had okay driving for Luke, but visibly worse than the other laps. The second turn had a wide entry, and notes the third and fifth turns could have been tighter. First low jump was average, and despite the second low jump looking good, he got a small bounce on the landing, which lost a fair amount of time. He had a pretty nice shortcut for his standards, noting it could have been better, but thankfully held his nerve of strong driving on the back half of the lap, with very good chain wheelies to clutch out the time. I have to emphasize how huge of a time this is for BC3 shortcut with the 3-for-3 shroom cut strategy. 157 territory is an immense task in of itself with this strategy, and setting a low 157 with this strategy is an incredible achievement. Luke says it will probably be the last run to have the Shroom Cut Ultra 3-for-3 due to how much the Shroomless Ultra Cut saves, and how close this run is to the Shroom Cut best known split sum, being less than 200 milliseconds away. Splits for a 156 are very likely with the Shroom strategy for Luke, as he has hit a 38.999 on lap 2 when he grinded Shroomless Ultra runs shortly before. Luke says a 38 second lap 1 is possible, making a low 38.9 second lap 2 and lap 3 being possible. Luke ended up doing 3-for-3 Shroom Cut Ultras over Shroomless because of the latter's difficulty and Luke's personal preference for setting very strong runs with older strategies. He certainly did just that with this run. Very impressive stuff, Luke, and a big congrats to you. He plans to lead this as it is with at least the Shroom strategy in mind for now, so we will see what activity this category may get in the future. 2 days after Luke reclaimed the shortcut category here, Luke would improve his own world record on the non-shortcut side by 3 milliseconds, with a time of 2:16.511 on April 30th. Lap 1 was driven well for Luke, but the low jumps weren't great overall, with the first one being decent, the second through fourth being bad to average, and the fifth low being good. Other time loss would also come from a half chain wheelie at the straight of lap 1. Lap 2 was driven well once more for Luke, but unfortunately the low jumps were poor again, with the only good one being the second one. This area was the only major weak point for lap 2, with other minor flaws being turning in his wheelie exiting the last turn and having a half chain wheelie. Lap 3 was the best driven lap for Luke, although a few turns after the low jumps could have been tighter. The low jumps themselves on lap 3 were the best out of any lap, with the first, second, and fifth ones being good, the fourth being average, and third one being bad. As we've come to see on the non-shortcut side of this on BC3 at this level now, apart from chain wheelies, each lap is greatly determined by how good or poor your low jumps are. The lap 3 comparison was nutty with his new record and his previous record, all the way to the last turn, as Luke had 2 half chain wheelies and we see his older record catch up almost completely to the finish line. These chain wheelies unfortunately cost Luke his 216.4 goal, but with that in mind, Luke actually had a large improvement here in May, which we will cover in May's review video. A continued congratulations to you, Luke, being able to pivot between categories and tracks seamlessly and maintain such a high standard of gameplay for so long now. Ending April's activity, we arrived to Toad's Factory shortcut category. Logan improved his own world record by 87 milliseconds on April 28th with a time of 1:44.584. Logan did not have too much to comment on for this run, noting nothing was really spectacular about the run and will probably shoot for a 1:44.2 time and below for the future. The Shroom strategy changed from doing the shortcut on laps 1 and 3 to laps 1 and 2 back in December of 2020. With Logan's 1:44.724 run. I wanted to comment on that, as with the strategy change, you drive all out from the landing of the shortcut on lap 2 to the end of lap 3, instead of being pace slots for the crate on lap 3. The Ghost comparison was particularly interesting to watch from Logan's previous world record and his newest world record run from the landing lap 2 to the end of lap 3. Every major point of time gain or loss with shroomless driving was shown off nicely here. From suboptimal to more optimal shroomless cuts, suboptimal to optimal low jumps, chain wheelies in the crate section, and some of the minor details like hopping out of the conveyor also cost time. I don't think Logan intentionally skipped hopping on the conveyor belt lap 3, as sometimes when you click hop it actually doesn't come out here. I don't know the exact details as to why this happens sometimes. My best guess is that sometimes you can get very small bounces gliding through the conveyor belt on this stretch, and when you hop, you could be hopping when you're technically in airtime and not on the ground. That's kind of my best guess. Overall, Logan was able to clutch out his improvement in the end, driving this category deeper into the 144 territory. Congrats to you once more, Logan, for also being able to pivot between different track categories and strategy seamlessly and maintaining such a high standard of gameplay for so long now. Best of luck on your future attempts here. And with that, the 4th month of 2021 Mario Kart Wii Time Trials is in the books. We had 39 world records in the first 4 months of 2021, which is insane. I wasn't sure what to expect entering 2021 from how epic 2018 through 2020 were, but this year has proven to be another immense year for Mario Kart Wii Time Trial, with many epic milestones and achievements being performed. I hope you all continue to enjoy this series highlighting and celebrating our community's greatest accomplishments. I will see you all very soon to review the world record activity for May 2021. Take care.